Welcome to my Yellow Paladin build showcase video. Now, to start with, let me set the record straight. I don't hate paladins. I think the design is pretty cool, both the male Minotaur paladin and the female human one are cool designs, and I like the idea behind the character and the character's ultimate skill as a great tank with the shield gems. That being said, right now, in my opinion, yellow as a color, both for the spells and for the equipment, need some buffs. Playing a paladin right now in this game is like playing on hard mode. So if you like the challenge, go for it. Personally, as I said before, I would prefer that the developers buffed some of the spells and some of the equipment items. But in this video, I'm going to talk about two different types of builds, not a specific build, but two types. The first one is an elemental damage build with light elemental damage. And the second one, I'm going to talk about a physical build with skull damage. So let's start with the elemental build. The Paladin has the Holy Avenger spell, which hits like a ton of bricks, and if shield gems are in play, shield gems are the ultimate ability or spell for the Paladins. If they are in play, destroy a number of yellow gems, adding additional damage for each one of them. At maximum level, it destroys 9 yellow gems, which means that the maximum damage cap bonus is 90%. Good spell. The only problem is that its cost is 270. So if you're a new player, this is a big amount of mana that you need to supply. Next, let's talk about standard generators. You know how much I like generator spells. Channel Light generates yellow gems, 9 at maximum rarity, and it also has a chance to blind the enemy. As you can see, blinded characters only have physical damage. The chance to blind depends on the level of your spellbook. If you have a level 50 spellbook, the chance to blind will be 100%. Next, you can use Sunburst if you need more yellow gems as a generator. At maximum rarity, it also creates 9, but it converts from red to yellow. It also deals damage, however, it's fire damage instead of light damage. So it can be very helpful when you're starting and you need more gems, especially to feed Holy Avenger, but later on, as you get more attributes with extra light damage, this damage is not going to be boosted. Another option is Smite. Smite is one of those spells that double down as damage dealers and generators. Excellent spell. It creates 8 yellow gems at maximum rarity and only costs 120. And finally, you have Divine Steed, which is an excellent defensive spell for the Paladin because it increases the armor, and if shield gems are in play, you also gain power. Power increases both your physical and your elemental damage. The amount of speed you gain is very small, but I guess it's better than nothing. And as I said, a great spell, it's only 100 mana, so very, very useful. There are other spells that deal damage. For example, you can use Lightning Bolt, It also deals light damage and has a chance to destroy columns. The problem is that maximum rarity is only a 55% chance, so it's very, very unreliable. You can use Bog Stench, that diseases the enemy. Disease, as you can see down here, makes your opponents lose mana per turn. If the opponent in PvE only has one spell, it completely prevents them from using it. If they have two or more spells, it only drains one random spell. So it's less useful, but it's a nerfed way to control the enemy's mana, and sometimes it can save you from them using their spells. And if they're already diseased, it deals light damage. Another spell that you can use is Light in the Dark. It's a bit gimmicky, so if there are more yellow gems than purple gems, it will deal damage, but if there are less, it will create more yellow gems. And there are other spells that you can use, for example, Blinding Blast. It blinds the enemy. If the enemy is already blinded, then deals damage. Many different options for an elemental build. Now, at the start, my recommendation is to use at least 2 gem generators. As I said, Holy Avenger is very, very expensive, so you need as many gems as you can generate, or even use 3, like for example, use Sunburst instead of Divine Steed, so you have 3 generators and Holy Avenger to get the big hits. Next, well, let's talk about the Citadel. Obviously, for every elemental build, the recommendation is put all your points into the mastery. In this case, it will be the light mastery. This will increase both the amount of mana that you get from matches as well as the light damage of your spells. So it's a great investment. And obviously, as usual, get as many items as you can with light starting mana, so you have a good light starting mana. I have 33% from the Citadel, and then I obviously use Bone Ring. You know how much I love Bone Rings, but I think they are great for new players. Use every piece of equipment that you can get with light starting mana, and like Bone Ring, like if you have 2 Dragon Guard pieces that you can use. I don't have, yeah, this one has poison starting mana, but with 2 Dragon Guard pieces, if they are mythic, they will increase your starting mana for all your regular spells, not the ultimate, but the regular spells, by 10 points. If they are legendary, 12 points. If they are legendary, they will increase by 10 points. Now, there are 3 sets that, generally speaking, work well with yellow spells, but they don't have many pieces of equipment that you say, oh yeah, this is a must-have, this is a staple for this type of build. Some of the pieces of equipment are interesting, but none of them are, yeah, this is a must-have. I would say one that is really, really good is the Dual Tower. It creates from 2 to 3 yellow gems when you block. This is obviously at mythic rarity. However, this item doesn't have any block bonuses like the Guard's Shield or the Shield of Anthrite. So in order to be effective and trigger, because it's only when you block, you need a very high quality shield. You can use it, for example, this one has block chance bonus, which helps a little bit, and you can obviously put some points into your citadel. Here under ice magic, the second option will increase both your block chance and your block damage amount. But at the end of the day, it's an item that helps a lot when it's at a very high level. The next thing I recommend is using two items from the Ancient Dragon set. I have a video on the Ancient Dragon set. Please have a look at it. For this specific build, for a yellow Paladin, my recommendation is to use the chest piece, which is the Mirror of the Forgotten. This piece has a chance to blind the enemy, and if they're already blinded, create one flashbang gem. It's only 20%, but remember that you have a lot of spells that have good synergies with blind enemies, so it can help. And the other piece of equipment that I do recommend, which I don't have, but it's in season 3.2, and is the Van Braces of the Caged. For a physical build, I don't recommend this because they are excellent hand slot items for physical builds, but for an elemental build, this is okay. The effect is not particularly good, and the variant, okay, I cannot see it here, but I can see it here, is the Swamp Soaked, which has a chance to generate a green gem, which doesn't help you, but is not as bad as some of the other pieces of equipment in this set. Oh, by the way, the chest piece, the Mirror of the Forgotten, can be found here in season 3.1. So 3.1 for the chest piece and 3.2 for the arm piece. This set will give you an additional 4 gems, yellow gems per turn, if you have 4 yellow spells. This is for common, but at mythic it will generate 4 gems, which is excellent and will allow you to feed expensive spells like Holy Avenger much easily, and also replace some of your spells like Channel Light or Sunburst with more damaging spells like I showed you before, or defensive spells like Divine Steed, etc. So use those two pieces of equipment. Now, for the weapon, usually for elemental builds, the best weapon is the Dragon King Axe. However, the Dragon King Axe is very rare. It can only be obtained in an adventure, and it's a pain in the ass to upgrade. It's very expensive. So, a good replacement is the Runic Mace. I also have a video on the Runic set. Watch it if you can. And at Mythic, this one is legendary, but at Mythical Rarity, it will increase your power by 25% of your Light Mastery. When you start, your Light Mastery will be low, so it's not going to make much of a difference. But as you get stronger and stronger, you will notice that your power will rise up. And remember that your power increases both elemental and physical damage. So in the long run, with a very high level build, this Runic Mace will be almost as powerful as the Dragon King Axe and way cheaper to obtain and upgrade, because this is a craftable item that you can also easily farm. while the Dragon King Axe is a very rare item that is very hard to find and not craftable at all. For the belt, the Trarch belt is always a great option for elemental builds because it increases your power if your speed is higher than your enemy speed. Well, I have one item with speed, okay, this jewel tower, but let me remove it. Okay, at level 50, you will have a speed of 163. So for PvE, you will be faster than most enemies, but remember that also Divine Steed increases your speed, even if it's by a small amount. So these are the items that I will highly recommend. Obviously, Gasduli Helm, if you want um, to start the battle with a barrier to have the first hit that you receive in battle. Another good option is the Trarch Helm. If you have it at mythical rarity, you will start the battle with haste for 3 turns. Haste increases the amount of the mana you get from matches by 50%, so it will help you a lot when you start to fill out your spells until you can have good base uh, yellow, well, light starting mana. So I'm going to put the Castle Helm here. Now, as I said before, there are 3 sets that have interesting pieces of equipment for yellow builds. The first one is the jeweled set that I already talked about, the shield. And this is a set that gives you some bonuses. With 2 pieces of equipment, it gives you an 85% chance to convert a purple gem to a yellow gem, which is pretty good. The 4 set pieces will increase your light resistance, which is not very good unless you're in PvP or you're facing the boss rush, the Scourge of Light, or something like that. And the 6 pieces will blind your opponent whenever you match 5 or more yellow gems. But committing to all 6 pieces of the set, I don't think is a good idea. However, using 2 pieces for this bonus, yes, I think that is really worth it. Don't use the weapon is pretty bad, but you have the jewel pendant, which increases your healing boost, which is pretty good. Remember that spells like Divine Steed that increases your armor also are affected by your healing boost, so you will regenerate more armor with this. And with this, we have triggered the 2 set bonus, which is pretty good. But other pieces of equipment you may want to use, like for example the jewel pants that will increase your armor every time you generate a big yellow gem, or the chest piece that adds percentage of your hero level to your light damage resistance. Personally, I prefer to use the Ancient Dragon set, but it's also an option. You can find the jeweled set in dungeon Pharos of Lothdin. Here is the jewel light set, and this is dungeon number 10. This is the regular set that can also be crafted. However, there is a variant which is in season 4.0. Right now, this season is locked. You need to spend crowns to unlock it. However, the current season only has for 5 days left, 5 days left, which means that in 2 weeks, the season 4.0 will be unlockable like every other season for only 750 gems. And this variant, I think I have an item of two. Yeah, this one, for example. Okay, yeah, this is the reinforced variant that you can find in season 4.0, and it will grant you as a passive bonus increase your armor for each piece of equipment that you have from this variant, which is pretty good passive because you don't have to do anything for it. The second set that has some interesting pieces of equipment for a yellow build is the Lightbringer. Let me see if I can find it. Where are you? Okay, right here. I don't know why the Lightbringer set is in the D. This is supposed to be in alphabetical order, but whatever. The Lightbringer has some interesting pieces of equipment. For example, the boots. If there are 8 yellow gems on the board, gain plus 50 speed. Uh, for the chest piece, a chance to gain haste. Check them out. There are different options here, and some of them may work well with your build. Like this one, if you have haste, gain armor and resistance. None of them are amazing, but some of them may work well for you. And the third one that I wanted to talk about is the Diraquin, I don't know how to pronounce this, which also has some interesting pieces of equipment like the boots, when matching yellow gems blind the enemy, etc. Check out all three sets. Maybe you have some good pieces of equipment that you can use in your build. These two sets can be found in season 1.5 for the Lightbringer here, season 1.5, and for the Diaquin, whatever, is in season 2.3, Watchers in the Stars. Here is the set. You can check each one of the pieces here and um, check if any of these pieces work well for you. And everything else is as usual. Just use whatever items you can use. Now, what I'm going to do, because I don't have, as I said before, the gauntlets, but I do have crowns. So let's see if I have one of these crowns and can give me light starting mana. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. No, 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 and obviously not this one. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm gonna use this one anyway because it has power. So you can see the bonus from the Asian Dragon in practice with this build. I will also use the track belt. For the second ring, I think I had one ring with light starting mana. Let me check. No. Oh, no. I could be wrong about that. Okay. Maybe this one. No, no, I don't. All right. I'm gonna put the royal ring. No, vitality, gold bonus, vitality, critical hit chance. Yeah, okay. Let's go with this one. For the shoulders, let's see if I have something that increases my light mana. I don't. Yeah, okay. Distracts shoulders is only 3.23, but it's better than nothing. For the gloves, I think I have one that also had, um, maybe not. Okay, yeah, Garrett's gloves with light starting mana. Maybe these ones as well. Uh, yeah, but I don't want the two runic set to interfere here. So I'm going to use these, yeah, these ones. And for the pants, again, I don't think I have. Okay, this one has extra light damage, so I will use it. And finally, for the boots, um, this has also light damage. Okay, so let's give it a try and see how it works. It has all three. This is 120, this is 130, this is 135. So I'm gonna swap the order of these two spells to put Smite in the fourth position. Okay, and see how it works out. Um, let's go to Dragon Guard Depths. Let's bring it down to difficulty 7. I don't know if I will be able to survive, but as an example of how it would work, yeah. So for gems, I'm gonna get 5 because Holy Avenger is very, very expensive. So I'm sure it can help, it can benefit from an extra one. And let's go. Okay, so let's start dealing some damage. Smite, Channel Light. Yeah, that was not very lucky. Maybe we can get this one here to get a stunning row. Yes, excellent. We got it right here. And finally, Holy Avenger. Okay, didn't kill, but had enough to stun, so we're safe for this round. The enemy is blinded, and so the armor procced and generated this additional gem. Let's start again with Sunburst, Smite, he's dead. Let's get some armor to see if we can survive for a little bit longer. Uh, okay, as you can see, every time a new enemy enters, the two-set Ancient Dragon um, generates the 4 gems, which is very, very useful. We don't have a stunning row right now, so let's see if Channel Light. Okay, we got one right here, so we are safe for this round. Holy Avenger. Okay, and all right. Now he has the stun barrier, so we either kill him or we're gonna get hit in this round, which is very likely, I'm afraid. Okay, and we're gonna get hit. Yes. All right. It's all right. We have 33,000 armor, 37,000. All right, we were able to block, so that was good. Let's kill it. Smite, Channel Light, and oh, yeah, no stunning row for the next enemy, which is bad, but okay, could be worse. Oof. Yeah, let's get weapon damage. We don't really need the mana. And the turn. Oh, okay. We managed to get, I guess there was a stunning row at the top that I didn't notice. So that was good. Okay, we can get a stunning row here, but he has the block, I mean the barrier. But still, I like to get stunning rows whenever I can. Smite it. Okay. So we are going to survive, but as you can see, it's a long, long fight. So I'm obviously not strong enough to take an enemy of this level. Okay, we have a stunning row right here, and he doesn't have the protection for this turn, so this is a guaranteed stun. And in the next turn, he's dead. So as you can see, the build works, but is not as strong as other elemental builds, like a blue elemental build with Frostbolt, or a dark elemental build like the Nightblade Assassin. Is workable, but weaker. Next, well, finally, when it comes to attributes, obviously you want light starting mana. You will want a bit more than this. This works, but yeah, it will depend on the spells that you use. Fortunately, there are multiple spells that are in the 130, between 100 and 130 mana, which is pretty cheap, so easy to use, with the exception of Holy Avenger. Um, as I said, starting mana. Next, you will want power on all your armor pieces. As you can see, I have power here, secondary. I don't have power on the Mirror of the Forgotten, but you will want to have power on all of them if you can. I just put these items together. That's why they are not very good, very strong. And after that, you will want extra light damage. Let me go to offense. Okay. Here, you will want as many pieces as you can have with light damage to boost your elemental damage. And finally, in order to increase your defenses, you should get some melee and missile resistance depending on what you can afford. So next, let's talk about the Terraflare build. This is a build made by, let me change here. Okay, this is the Puzzle Quest 3 build guide from the Throne of Odin. As I say in all my videos when I make reference to these guides, please join the Discord. It's a great community and they have a lot of great builds, build guides and advice, and there are a lot of veteran players that have been playing for far longer than I have. And this is the Terraflare build, which is considered by many veterans as one of the best skull builds for the Paladin. So you can check this out, but in my opinion, one image is worth 1,000 words. So this is the Terraflare. It uses Smite. I already talked about it. Lightning Bolt. I already talked about it as well. Divine Steed, to increase your armor and speed, and if shield gems are in play, gain power. And Protection from Evil. And this is a very similar spell to Divine Steed, but it generates resistance instead of armor. So as you can see, this is a very defensive build. Now, One interesting thing about this is that this is a skull build, but it doesn't have any spell that generates skulls. And the reason why is that there are no yellow spells that generate skulls. So you need to generate skulls with your equipment. So this build uses two items from the Corrupted Guard set, the ring and the shield, and you get increased critical hit chance for each big gem on the board. It also uses the Royal 2 set bonus with the ring, chest piece, legs, and boots that generate mana gems at the start of the battle. These three pieces are only legendary, but at mythical rarity, they will create 7 big mana gems at the start of the battle. Now, remember that the Corrupted Guard increases your critical hit chance, so with 7 big gems at the start of the battle, these two set bonuses, the 6 pieces together, will increase your critical hit chance by 49% on round 1, which is pretty good. Next, it uses 2 runic set pieces, the wristbands, for the chance to create skulls every time you cast a spell. This one is only epic and this one is only legendary, but at mythical, it's a 75% chance, which is pretty good. It also uses the S-Guard Bandolier. This one is only epic, but if you have a mythical one, it will convert from between 2 and 3 red gems to skull gems every time you cast a spell, which is great. But remember, if you're using Sunburst, this is not good because Sunburst destroys red gems. Well, it transforms them, so you can use one or the other, but not both of them. They don't have good synergy. And regarding the rest of the items, it uses the Fallen Shoulder Guards. I only have an epic one, but after taking damage, it will increase your starting armor and resistance. A Kasduli Helm, obviously to start the battle with the barrier and increase your survivability. It also uses the Bloodfang Twin Blade, which will increase your critical hit chance for each yellow gem on the board. This is a yellow one. This item is color sensitive. And I think I talk about all pieces of equipment, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I have. And the spells. Again, it's a solid build, but not having skull generators with spells means that you can only rely on your items, and any other color can also use the same items plus a spell or two to generate extra skulls. But all in all, a solid build. One of the advantages of this build is that it works well due to having 2 defensive spells. It can work well if you have very high level equipment in auto mode because it's very, very resilient. So let's see it in action. I don't have, as you can see, my items are not very good. With this, I only have 52% light starting mana and only 9% critical hit chance outside of the items. But let's give it a try. I'm gonna lower the difficulty, otherwise we're going to stay here forever. Let's give it a try at level 75. I don't know if I will be able to survive, but so you get a feeling of how does it work. Okay, as you can see, we got many high level gems, as you can see here. and this will automatically fall down. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this in another video. Maybe I should make a dedicated video. But whenever you make more than 3 in a row, the resulting big gem that will be generated will be in the lowest row in case you're making a column, or on the leftmost column in case they are all in the same row, or several rows, then it will go to the bottom left always. And with this, we should be able to charge our mana. For the rest, I don't want to destroy the rest of the high level gems, so they proc with my equipment. So let's see if we can get a critical hit. Yes, that was a critical hit. Excellent. Let's get some armor and resistance. All right, for the second enemy, let's get more skulls, and let's see if we can generate additional skulls. Let's start making some yellow gems. Okay. Lightning bolt. Let's see if it procs. No, it didn't. Um, as you can see, I only have one generator with this build, so I'm probably going to run out of mana in this turn. Obviously, this is oh, that was a mistake, but okay, I'm still alive. All right, no problem. I can still do this. And let's do this, and yeah. Okay, this, more skulls, and yeah, I cannot make any other good matches. Obviously, when you start, you will want another generator. With only smite and a chance from lightning bolt. Yeah, you're not you're not very good in that regard. And you know that I like to have more generators than I usually need. Okay, he's dead. And weapon damage, yes, thank you. And for the last enemy, oops. Oh, yeah, we can do this. Let's see if the lightning procs. No, it didn't. Okay. I really want to match this one, but I don't have the opportunity to do so. Okay, we can get these two. Okay, yeah, I can match it here. Excellent. He might die with this one. Yeah, excellent critical. Okay, so as you can see, it works as a skull build, but in my opinion, it depends too much on luck with only one generator. It's true that my smite is only legendary, uh, maximum ancient mythic. It will create 2 more yellow gems, but in my opinion, I would recommend, if you want to make a variation on this build, to get more mana generators. Like I said, get the Mirror of the Forgotten and the gloves piece, the bound braces of the caged, so you can benefit from those two. And if you can also use 2 jeweled pieces of equipment, you will also get 85% additional chance plus the possibility to generate extra yellow gems when you block with your shield. And that's the video. I hope it was helpful to show you how the Paladin works. There are obviously other options, but these two are the most used builds or build concepts, if you will. And as usual, please like, comment, subscribe if you liked it, and thank you very much for watching.